Hello and welcome. This is Ecologically Balanced Ideation, Regimes, and Effects of Critique, and I'm Lindsay Tan, Reed Associate Professor in Interior Design at Auburn University. I want to thank IDEC and Jerome for supporting remote presentation for those of us who had conflicts with the updated South Regional Conference dates, and I want to thank you for joining me. I'll keep this recording relatively short because no one wants to watch a 20-minute YouTube video, but I'll provide my contact information at the end of the presentation so we can keep the conversation going. And feel free to share this out to others who may be interested so they can join the conversation. This Creative Scholarship exhibit is part of a series exploring the design process through an ecological lens. I begin with a concept and then use visual arts to drive the storytelling. In other words, I am first creating images that tell a story, and then the story changes as the images evolve. Once I have the product, I then formalize the written narrative. The narrative does not describe the end product. I let the image paint the landscape and the words paint the actions. The process for my traditional research, books, and articles is highly structured, so my creative process tends toward the chaotic. I do not have a preferred medium. I make use of different media depending on the project at hand, but I do enjoy experimentation and learning new things. Each piece in this series began with a unique set of digital photographs taken by the designer in situ. Here you can see an on-site experimentation with variation in subject, perspective, tone, and contrast. The raw photos were combined and manipulated, then overlaid with filters, special effects, and mixed media on a texturized canvas. These images here represent some of the textures that were developed from the initial photographs. So the outcomes I'm going to be sharing next were informed by my experiences in studio-based critique and my role as a prescribed burn manager in the state of Alabama. It is natural for young designers to be afraid of critique, but that fear should be tempered with knowledge and training. Critiques are initially perceived as a disturbance to the design process, but instead, they should be viewed as an integral part of a healthy ecosystem of ideation. Critiques reduce mental load by burning off excess ideas so that they cannot accumulate. In contrast, suppression of critique leads to lower productivity and less successful design outcomes. The timing and frequency of prescribed critique is informed by the natural growth pattern of an idea. For the first part of its development, an idea exists in a grass stage. On the surface, the idea appears to be no more than a wiry bunch grass, but beneath the soil, it is developing a deep and complex root system. At around 6 to 8 years old, the seedling idea leaves the grass stage, putting on 1 to 2 feet of height per year. This period of height elongation is when ideas become most susceptible to the effects of criticism. The highest temperatures during a critique occur at about 18 inches AFF. So as ideas are leaving the grass stage, but still around the 18-inch height range, they can easily be top-killed by even relatively low-intensity comments. For ideas that survive through height elongation, the perceived risk of failure decreases dramatically, but severe criticism still poses a significant threat. Ideas at any stage of development or execution are susceptible to severe criticism. A young designer can address both threats by prescribing frequent critiques to keep fast-growing insecurities from developing further, as well as to keep mental litter down. Critique has practical implications too, clearing out less successful ideas to create a more supportive habitat for ideation. When ideation is ecologically balanced, open, and reseeding naturally, it should be considered part of the natural design process for a few ideas in the height elongation phase to be lost to critique. Creative scholarship is an important part of my research agenda. I will admit that I am more confident in my ability to express my thoughts in writing, My creative work is in a constant state of growth and experimentation. Just as soon as the work is finished, I'm ready to declare it garbage. I'm never satisfied. This may be normal. Despite my insecurities and the very public vulnerability of exposing work to the Academy, I know that I cannot stop creating. There are limitations to what traditional research can do. There are limitations to what I can tell you with words. As a designer, I can use the applied arts to explore the possibilities of the physical world, but as a creative scholar, the fine, visual, and performing arts allow me to push innovation further and plumb the depths of otherworldly possibilities. I'd like to thank the W. Allen and Martha Reamer Reed Professorship, Auburn University's College of Human Sciences, and the College of Forestry, Wildlife, and Environment for providing support for this work. I welcome your comments and critique, and thank you again for joining me in this exhibition of ecologically balanced ideation, regimes and effects of critique.